One morning, a few summers ago, I woke up and realized I was really unhappy with my job. It had gotten to the point where I dreaded going into work every day. I finally decided to acknowledge that dread in the pit of my stomach by asking myself two questions about my job. One, why was I unhappy? And two, what did I actually want to do with my career? I discovered that I was unhappy because I was chasing after what I thought I was supposed to be doing, which is pursuing a career that was socially acceptable and that was supposed to make a lot of money. And when I thought about what is it that I actually wanted to do, I realized I had two criteria. I wanted to be working in a topic that was meaningful to me and that allowed me to support myself financially. And meaningful meant that I was helping or working with people in need, or more broadly, social impact. But I had never considered it as a real career option because I assumed I couldn't support myself financially. These two questions brought me along on this journey of self-discovery, the conclusion of which I would like to share with you all today, which is you can have an impact on the world and make money, and it lies in the intersection of social impact and business. Social impact is a pretty broad term, and it can refer to any sort of organization or initiative that provides a benefit to society. So this includes nonprofits, corporate social responsibility, and so much more. When I first started exploring social impact careers, I was an undergrad at the University of Michigan studying business, and I didn't know what social impact was other than working with nonprofits. So I did something I became really good at in undergrad, which is I Googled the word nonprofit in the University of Michigan, and then cold emailed every professor who came up in that search result. In the email, I asked for some time and explained my life story and my unhappiness with my job, and hoped that they would be able to impart some wisdom on me. Turns out, a few professors took a chance on me, so for those of you still in undergrad, believe me, this works. And I started working with a few nonprofits, and I learned three things. One, nonprofits had these inefficiencies that I hadn't seen in the business world, and Harvard has calculated these inefficiencies to be worth upwards of $100 billion. This includes everything from how much money it takes to fundraise to how the organization is structured and decisions are made. Two, traditional disciplines outside of philanthropy and fundraising weren't really recruited for. So I didn't really find roles that were for designers or for engineers, or in my case, for folks in business. And three, the salaries in the nonprofit world weren't really as competitive as those in the for-profit world. I had come pretty far in my heydays of disliking my job to finally finding what it is that I wanted to do. The topic was there, I was interested in social impact, and the salary wasn't there, but that was okay. There was one problem. No nonprofit wanted someone without any nonprofit experience. So I decided if my ideal career wasn't going to come to me, I was going to make my own career. I started to recruit for jobs that had topics I was interested in other than social impact. So this was digital innovation and efficiency, and that had that salary component. But social impact and business continued to remain separate paths for me. I was going to do my business job, and I was going to do social impact in my free time, but the two didn't really connect. It turns out there's actually a place where social impact and business meet, and it's called social enterprise. So social enterprise refers to an organization whose mission is to provide a benefit to society. So in that case, it's like a nonprofit. But they sell a good or a service to generate revenues, and then the revenues are reinvested back into the organization to help further its mission. And in that sense, it's like a business. And because they generate their own revenues, they're able to provide more competitive salaries. Many of you likely have not heard of social enterprise before because it's relatively new here in the US, but well established in other countries such as the UK. So an example of the very first social enterprise I ever encountered is called Hot Bread Kitchen. Hot Bread Kitchen is a New York-based bakery that employs immigrant women. These women bake breads from different cultures, everything from almond babka to Moroccan flatbread. And the revenues from the sale of these loaves of bread goes back into Hot Bread Kitchen to help support these women in English as a second language classes and to provide them business and management skills. The model has been incredibly successful with one of the first graduates going to work at a Michelin star restaurant. And what's really exciting is that Hot Bread Kitchen generates 2/3 of its operating expenses through the sale of these breads. And they're aiming for 100% in the near future. But social enterprise may not be for everyone. So initially, I had told you guys about charting my own path and finding my own career. I was going to work in business and then do social impact in my free time. And if something came along, a social impact project while I was at work, that I would just hop on that as well. Turns out there's a term for this type of role, and it's called being a social intrapreneur or social intrapreneurship. Social intrapreneurs continue in the job that they're doing, but they do social impact projects in their free time or as a part of their paid work time, and they leverage their company's resources. A recent study has shown that social intrapreneurs leverage 3 resources. So 1, they leverage their company's expertise. 2, they leverage their company and their own relationships. And 3, they leverage their company's resources, so in terms of teams or salaries. And this helps them provide a greater benefit to society. And companies actually benefit from having social entrepreneurs as well. So there's a positive association that's shown between entrepreneurship and employee satisfaction and company growth. But social entrepreneurs are really changing the world in terms of where companies are headed and what benefit is provided to society. So social entrepreneurship can be simple. Convince your university to switch to water-saving toilets. Or it can be complex. Convince a multi-billion-dollar health company to fund global health initiatives. I currently work at the Boston Consulting Group, and BCG and the Index Design to Improve Life organization partnered together to provide Index to Design to Improve Life award winners the opportunity to have someone help them with their business plan. So I worked on a team with Carlos, the founder of ECO, a prosthetic for children made out of Legos. And we worked together over a summer to figure out how could he get this to the kids in need, regardless of their family's financial status. But social entrepreneurship can be much broader than that. GlobeMed, a global health education, advocacy, and action organization, was started here at Northwestern University 10 years ago. And they couldn't have gotten as far as they have today, which is in multiple universities across the US, without the help of Jeff Richardson, a social entrepreneur who helped them provide their first round of funding through Abbott, a global healthcare company. Social entrepreneurs and social entrepreneurs have been shown to share 3 key characteristics. 1, they're innovative. So they're able to take disparate pieces of a puzzle and put it together into a vision. 2, they're able to take calculated risks. And I emphasize the word calculated here, both socially, politically, and financially. And 3, they're proactive. And to me, this last one is actually the most crucial. If I think about my own journey, if I hadn't done the introspection and then taken action on that introspection, I'd probably still be stuck in that job where I was unhappy. And that action led me to take a chance on new experiences. And those new experiences helped me refine my criteria for what I wanted out of my job and my long-term career. And I continue to try to expose myself to new experiences. Today, I'm volunteering with the city of Detroit, helping them think about how they can leverage corporate partnerships to provide more employment opportunities for their current and future city residents. Every day, I now ask myself, is what I'm doing in my job and in my free time satisfying and fulfilling my criteria? Today's criteria is working in social impact, working in digital innovation, working in an environment where I feel challenged, working in an environment where I'm continuing to grow, and income relatively less important than it used to be. Tomorrow, who knows? So I'd like to leave you all with the following question. What matters most to you when you think about your career, and what action are you going to take to get there? Thank you.